Oh, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. I am really excited. My name's Niyama Shang. I'm the leader of the Trailblazer Oasis, where I take individuals that know that they're different and want to bring their difference out to elevate the world and transform the consciousness and the way that we show up on a regular basis. What we get a chance to do is spend some time really discovering more about ourselves, appreciating that, both in terms of being able to embrace it and also to grow those things that make us amazing, to experiment with that out in the world and then be able to leverage that for even higher returns of our time, investment, and impact. Right now, we are starting off a series of conversations. These are courageous conversations. And the reason for this is that we are in the middle of a thing that I'm calling Fearless February. And the idea of Fearless February is to be in a place where it's not about necessarily ending up being fearless, but instead being able to navigate life and the work that we're doing with less fear. And I think that's an important distinction here, because the idea of being fearless is something that's easily toted around. And this is what I don't want you to know, but I'm like, but it's basic. Instead, here I'm looking for. There's an element of fear that is actually a great tool. It's a great indicator of where we can go. Great indicator of what's there. There's information in the fear. There's information in being scared. So my goal here, when it comes to this here, in terms of the distinction, is to not actually take away fear from you, because fear is actually a really useful tool should we know how to be with it. So on the flip side there, the elements that help make it a useful tool is that if we're not getting rid of fear completely, then how do we continue to show up and continue to take action and grow and make our impact if the fear is still present? And what I found from this year, a lot of people will come out and they'll say, well, I'm looking for the confidence. I'm looking for confidence so that I can just, like, I don't have to have the fear and go. I feel like fearlessness and confidence seem to go hand in hand there. Fearlessness, I don't know if that still works as a word, but fear is two words that the quality of fearing less is actually best coupled with a sensation of courage. There's a coach that I follow. His name's Dan Sullivan, and he was saying that while he was in the military, he got this bit of information. He said, "Courage isn't fear. Is when I'm going to mess it all up. I can feel myself messing it up there. But the punchline is that it's great. I won't even. I'll send out a message with it afterwards. But the punchline is that it's great. The idea being that overall, fear is like, it's not that you're not wet in your pants. It's the real courage comes in is when you're actually doing the thing with wet pants. So that's the space that we're in here today. And throughout the series, I am someone I'm open. This is me, and this is something I need to just put out into the world. I'm leaning into my fears as well. These are conversations that I've been wanting to have for over 2 years, and I haven't really brought it into life. The elements of this in the past has been me playing and maybe inviting certain people through one-off invitations and one-off messages. But now I'm finally putting this out into the world and giving people a chance to come to it through a program, and having to deal with some of the things that I am learning new things about myself as I go through this process. And I think that's important. The game that I've chosen to play is, how do I play this as a practitioner and leader, as opposed to a guru or authority? I know what I'm talking about, and I understand the process, but it's not something where I'm not willing to take myself through the own process. I eat what I serve in that sense. And so while I'm good with being with me in this case here, I also want to just let you know that we are going down the path together, but we're all going down for the things that we need. So with that being said, I invite you to come to additional sessions that we have. We have a few more, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, we have 5 sessions in 8 days. That's something that I found this works for me. Just let's just do the work. So you can go to niyama.com/tribe. That's NIIAMAH.com/tribe, and to go and enroll for any upcoming sessions. All right. So let's just play. Today, the topic that we have on hand is the courage to be unique. And it could be, we might end up with more people joining us, or it might end up being just a conversation with one or two of us here. And I'm great with all of that there. Let's start off here, especially because we have a small group. I have some things that are planned in my head. But I love whenever I get a smaller unit here to be able to spend more time seeing like what is it and who is it that's here and why. So let's speak a little bit here. Let's bring everyone into the room here. It's wonderful for you all. It's wonderful to see all of you here. Start with you, Monique. The courage to be unique. What about that made you say, hold on, wait a minute, let me come spend some time here?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing so well right now. I'm in my element, actually.
Good, good. Yeah, so the courage to be unique. I think that's been a real big story for me, especially in my own coaching practice. I feel like I have to know who I am and have all this information before I do anything. But I think I've come to terms with like, I don't need to know everything about who I am because just like you said, I get these insights. So when it was talking about the courage to be unique, I think just recognizing that we're human and we all have these really interesting experiences, and we don't need I don't need a pressure to be anywhere but uniquely where I am. That's why I came.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and we'll play with that there. And I'm really happy. Like when I say we'll play with that, it's just like we'll play from that. Actually,
Okay.
With you being exactly where you are, and playing from there. So thank you, Monique. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you're able to speak yourself into this room. Farron, it's wonderful to see you again. Welcome to the conversation.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why you're here today.
I was invited by this gentleman who was so adamant about me connecting with him.
That's me.
I think to me, it's always a pleasure to have an invitation from you. That's why I'm here, because it's a pleasure to be invited into any. You're always about creating, and that's just it. So resonates with me to be in creation of what I truly want, instead of holding back. It's always, what else can I shape and mold, because I have dreams and desires that I want to see to come to fruition, or at least set it up so somebody else can take the reins, 50 years down the road or whatever. Because just by knowing you, Niyama, I know that you are someone who have you.
Hold on 1 second, Darren. I just lost the audio. Can you hear me? Monique, could you hear him? No. Okay. So yeah, we lost you right there. Yeah, we can't hear you right now. So can you just take a look at, I don't know if the earbuds died or something like that, but can you take a look into that? And then we'll bring you back on once it's coming in. So as that's getting together, I'm going to go to Elizabeth and then Karen. It's great to see you here. As we're all just getting into the room here, so feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to bring on your video. Let's see, Elizabeth. Are you able to connect? Is it coming through for you? Right now, it still says that you're connecting your audio, and we're not seeing any video here. So if you're able to hear us, but it's not working on your end, I would say just try leaving the session and coming back in. I haven't locked this room, right? And then we'll come out there. Coach Karen, It is wonderful to see you here. I'm glad we get a chance to play. Right now, we're really just getting things, bringing things to life here. And as we're getting started, I want to just give you a chance to kind of speak yourself into the room, get to know everyone here, and for us to get a chance to get to know you. And where we'll play with here is today. The theme is the courage to be unique. I'm curious, what about this made you say, yeah, you know what, today I want to come and join? It could be because of the title, it could be because of anything at all. But I just want to just check, like, let's just start off by bringing you into this room, Karen. Feel free to unmute yourself and just share, like, why did you decide to come today?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I want to up level. And this is an opportunity to be with other like-minded people. So why wouldn't I be here? That's why I'm here.
Perfect. Game on. Game on. And I'm looking at this room here, like we're all going to up level in this conversation. Yeah. We're all going to find different ways for this to come through. Third, hopefully your audio is coming through now, but like
I can hear. Can you hear me?
yes. Okay, we're in.
You could not hear me before?
You had cut off right. You had said something and you had cut off in the middle of it.
Oh, I had something so profound to say too, and see that?
There it is. There it is. So here goes the thing. What I know about you is that that the profoundness comes with you everywhere you go. So I don't feel at a loss. I was even just profoundness in the way that you brought yourself back on audio. So I feel good about that. I feel good about that. But I also do appreciate the sentiments there and your willingness to just come out and play. All right. So let's go ahead here today. Today, what I'd love to explore here is just the elements of us here, that the uniqueness that we each have, the gift that we have, that we don't normally get a chance to shine, right? Or really the thing that I want to explore is, what are we holding in exile? The part of us that we don't really get give others a chance to see. So we're going to do this here. I think that the way that I like to approach this here is, if you have a piece of paper or a pen near you, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Okay. The first question is this. I'll give about like a minute or two for you to respond to it. And you can just write it down. What are you currently apologizing for in your life or business? We'll give it 30 more seconds. All right. Second question. What is the cost of apologizing for that thing? And hello there, Elizabeth. It seems that your sound is coming. Everyone else, you can keep doing what you're doing. Elizabeth, it seems that your sound is coming on. I want to welcome you to this conversation. We're just answering the question. We have two questions on the table right now. The first question is, what are you apologizing for? And the second question is, what is the cost of apologizing for that? So take a little bit of time to do that. And if you get a chance to turn on your video and join us in that way, that'd be great. Otherwise, we'll continue this way. And everyone else will have about another 30 to 45 seconds. Okay. I'm getting people looking up. Are you done with this question here? Okay, awesome. The next question then is, what is the benefit of apologizing for that? All right. So we've had 3 questions so far. What are you apologizing for? What are the costs of what you're apologizing for? And what are the benefits of what you're apologizing for? I'm going to go off and explore this. I think I'm going to take a break right now and get us to just kind of come back together, share a little bit of some of the insights that we're seeing here. There's a second portion to these questions, but we'll come back to them in just a bit. Right. Firstly, before we dive in fully, what I'd like to do is just give Elizabeth a chance to enter the room here. It's great to have you, Elizabeth. Well, what we're doing here is just you can just unmute yourself and just say hello and let us know a little bit more about why you decided to come here today.
Oh, hi, friends. Oh, thank you, Nyama, for inviting me into this space. I love so much what you are doing with creating this space for us trailblazers and outliers, and giving us room to express where we're at. So that's why I'm here today. And I apologize for being late, but I'm so happy to be here and to give reflection on these questions that you've asked us and to share with those in a little bit.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm feeling called right now to actually just give us a chance to. What I'm realizing is there's two benefits to being in this conversation. One is the benefit of being able to have the self-reflection, but the other thing is, like, you are some of the most powerful people that I know, most incredible people that I know, and I want to make sure that you all get a chance to get to know each other as well, right? And so we'll be playing in different ways to allow for that to take place. I think the way that I like to play it this time here is we'll go around. And what we'll do is we'll start with Monique, we'll go to Theron, we'll then go to Karen, and then we'll go to Elizabeth, right? And for this set of questions here, I'd like you to just go ahead and share any insight that came to you while you were doing this, or any question that comes up for you that you would like to continue to explore around that for yourself, right? So that would be you. For everyone else that's not speaking, we're going to go ahead and give Monique a gift, right? And the gift here is we'll start with Monique and we'll go with each person. But the gift here is just being able to share one of two things. You can share, and we'll just take one person each time. You can just put your hand up if there's something that calls out to you. But you can share one of these two things. One is a response that starts, "What I get about you is." So it's basically based on that response. What I get about you is, and you can go ahead and share that. Or you can share the impact of your share on me. The impact of your share on me is. And I'll let you know, like, part of why we're doing this here is to give you a chance to be visible, to speak this out loud, to speak these areas that don't normally have a chance to come out, and then also to give ourselves a chance to be able to reflect back some of the gifts back to you. All right. So let's start this out here. Monique, would you mind going first? Are you good with that there? All right. So you go ahead and share an insight, and then afterwards, someone can just raise their hand. We'll take one person and share either the gift, what you get about that person, or the impact of that share on you. Okay. Thanks, Monique.
Okay. So what I came up with during that exercise was that I've been apologizing for going inward. Recently, I've discovered a different dimension of my being, which has been really cool. But it's also been really trying. And instead of focusing on other people and helping them grow, I paused and I went inward. And I felt that there was something wrong with that and that I wasn't being of service. But after doing this, I recognize that if I don't take time for self-care, I can't ask that of others. And there has to be a willingness to go inward, to recreate from a different place so that I can take that into the world. So maybe it's not directly being of service to others in this moment, but it will be of service to others at a different time.
Thank you. Does anyone have either something to share in terms of the impact that her share had on you? Okay, Karen.
Monique, I so resonate with you. I actually did the same thing. I decided that I needed that inward time. And I think you and I are going to come out much more powerful as servant leaders because we took that time to do some self-reflection and just see where we are in alignment and out of alignment. And so I applaud you for that. I applaud myself for that. So, great. Love share.
Thank you so much for that, Karen. And I'm going to ask here, just so we can follow this format in a bit here. If you had to frame it in either that or something else in the sense of the impact that had on you, or what you get about Monique, what would you like to share around that? And thank you for your beautiful share already. So I will say this. Can you share something that starts with either of those two prompts? The impact of your share, or what I get about you is.
So you want me to rephrase that again? Okay. So what I get about you is that you are a thinker and that you do definitely want to serve in a powerful way. The impact of your share helped me also to see myself and that it was okay to be still and it was okay to be in alignment. So it truly resonated with me. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Karen, for being with it as we continue to go through the exercise there. Thank you for that. Thank you for modeling that and just stepping into that. Darren, how about you? From the questions or anything that's come up so far in this conversation, can you share one insight or one thing that's working on you?
Sharing an insight of what's come up so far in this conversation.
For yourself, yeah, or perhaps in probably related to the questions, but I want to keep it open to what would actually serve you.
Mm-hmm. And my mind so focused on the questions that you asked. But now you're just saying.
You can keep it with the questions. That's fine, Theron. Like we have some
Yeah.
time to play. So
Okay. Because that when I took that first question, it was in a way difficult for me to analyze because of the person I am is I go after stuff, right? So I don't apologize. But at the same time, if I really think about it, because of feelings I have, those feelings, what they're doing is showing me that there is uh, an apologetic nature within inside me because of certain things that are missing out of my life, right? But I don't think about it. So if I just use my head, it's like I don't apologize for anything. Well, I do things when I do what I have to do. But when I go inside my being, my heart, it's like, and what I wrote down was there are skills that I don't have that I haven't acquired yet, and I feel this apologetic sense of spirit within me because man, if I just work at sharpening those skills, I could be further along in doing my business and other things like that. Mainly, it's focused on the skills I want to acquire to continue to excel in my business. So here, I'm like, no, but here it's like, you know what? I can feel that sense of, it's like, man. And if I let it, I could go, man, only if I'd have done that 10 years ago. You could put that guilt on you, right? But it's like, no. So apologizing for the guilt if it ever comes up. So that's
thank you, Theron. I didn't mean to cut you off. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that was basically what I wanted to say about that question there.
Thank you. And just real quick before we go to everyone here, how many of you can also relate to that feeling of like, man, if only I'd known this earlier? Yeah. So you're not alone on that. Thank you for bringing that in here. Would anyone like to share with Theron either the impact that share had on them or what they get about Theron? And you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Thank you.
Hi, Theron. So the impact of what you said for me was this disconnection between the mind and the heart. Like there needs to be a balance between those. And often, like for me, I find myself in either one or the other and not in both at once. So that was just really profound and beautiful to come up. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Karen, how are you? One insight from the questions so far.
Okay. So I'm going to answer these two questions. Currently apologizing in my life or my business. I initially apologized for my slowdown. I was trying to make other coaches understand what it was that I was doing. And then the cost of that was asking permission for being who I am. And I realized I did not need to ask permission. And so there was a cost, potential cost, and then I found my benefit because I stood in who I am. And because I did this slow down to speed up, I am a much better person because of it. I am more insightful because of it. So I feel like I'm not apologizing. This is what benefited me. And will I do it again? Yes. If the call is for me to do it again, I'll do it again. Because I see me emerging much more powerful. And I like it. So there you go.
Thank you for that, Karen. Really. So who here has either something that they'd like to share from the impact that share had on them or what they get about Karen? I saw Theron's hand come up first, so Theron, you go ahead and share.
Hey, Karen. So it did have, so the impact of your share was like connecting minds together. Like, I don't apologize. So there was a connection there. Why should anyone have to apologize? And like I said, when I further, I guess, contemplate on, or should I say, when I started to take it from here to here in my heart, the feeling started like, well, there's always, I'm human. So let me really dig down deep and see if what's here is actually the end all and be all, right? Is that the actual thing? And so I had to like, okay, let me bring down to my heart. And I started feeling that sense of, ooh, yeah, you know what? If I had to be apologetic about anything, it would be the connection I have with my heart to maybe not achieving something or doing something because I know that my development calls upon me going further and maybe doing these certain things so my development can go further and I can sell more. I have a family and I have a business, and why can't I, if I had these skills, but I know that in time, at the same time, it's like, hey, well, why apologize? Because you're working on them. You're working on yourself. You're working on your skills. You're working on being all you can be, like, that saying, like military, Marines. So I can really, it's impactful to know that I connect with, like, thinking, like the minds are connecting, like, yes, that whole, and then like another thing is being like, going through what I gone through my life. I'm going to have to say, as a Black man, when I've gone through, it's like I was raised, don't apologize, for, just be a good person and do the best you can. Don't apologize who you are. And yes, I had a lot of adversity because of the color of my skin, which is, sad to say, but that whole apology thing just didn't sit right with me. Like, I don't apologize, right? I'm a good person, but I don't want to ramble on, but thank you, Karen, because I connect with you on that.
Thank you all here. So let's bring this in. Elizabeth, can you share with us your responses to those questions, or the insights, that you got from taking some time with those questions?
I resonated so much with what all of you were sharing. So thank you for just showing up and being here today. Karen, when you said slow down to speed up, that definitely resonated with me. Nyama knows that's something I've been working on this year. And just that we don't have to hustle. We don't have to force what we are trying to do and be in the world. And I so appreciate that you acknowledge that and that you want to show up in that way. So thank you for that. And Theron, one of the things that I felt when you were sharing and that I identified with in your expression of where you're at is the reminder that it's okay to just show up as we are. We don't need a resume behind us. We don't need this laundry list of things we've accomplished. Like, being is good enough. Being who we are is awesome. Like, be who you are and show up in that way and bring that. And it doesn't have to be a resume that gives us our worthiness. Like, we are our worthiness. And both you and Monique, like, I feel like in what you shared is that reminder of who we are is worthy. And we are unique. We are trailblazers. We are like setting our own paths. And I appreciate you for showing up in that way and owning that and giving me permission to be that in your expression of that. So thank you for that.
So I'm going to ask, is someone here willing to share the impact of what Elizabeth shared had on them, or what they get about Elizabeth? Monique.
Yeah. So what I get about Elizabeth, what came to me while just listening to you was the amount of compassion and gratitude that you have for everyone, and just the ability to be present and witness other people's experience as well as your own. So that was really neat to see. Thank you.
Thank you all. And what I love to do here, like I'm gonna share something on my end, because part of my game is to play as a practitioner and leader myself. And I'm like, I could totally keep myself out of these questions and not have to share myself. But I think the way that I want to continue going forward is to let that come to life. So it's great to have you here, Palmer. Welcome to the conversation. Come on in, Palmer.
You heard me?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So come on in, come join in. We'll have you speak yourself into the room in just a bit here. But I do feel the infusion of energy, so that's really good.
Oh my gosh, Nemo Ashong from Singapore.
Yes,
Everybody
Palmer.
I'm in the room with. I've got Taryn, Elizabeth, Monique. Thank you. Hi. Sorry I'm late, guys. Nice to meet you all.
It's great
Nemo is one of my best friends and the biggest inspiration. He is so cool to work with. He is so just down to the get it done now. And I love seeing his bright face and smile.
We would love to see your bright face and smile too, Palmer. Are you in a place where you can put on your video today?
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I bet I could do that. Start video.
Nemo, is he how you introduce yourself? Is he how you introduce yourself? Like you walk into a room and you send him first, like go ahead of me, go ahead.
that might come. That might come at some point. Right now I'm doing that myself, but it was great to have that here. Palmer, it's great to have you join the conversation. Right? What I'm going to do is we're going to give you some time to kind of like speak yourself into this room and really, really be here with us before the end of this session. I'm going to continue where we were in the spirit of honoring where we were going, but just know that you are here at exactly the right time for you to really be a contribution to this conversation. So we are thrilled that you are here. We're welcoming you, and we're going to continue. Okay?
Sure. Yep.
So I'm going to share with you. We were answering 3 questions. What are you apologizing for in your life and business? What are the costs for apologizing that? And what are the benefits for apologizing that? All right. And I'm going to mute you for now, Palmer. And if you need to say something, you can unmute yourself. I'm good with that. So I'll answer this question myself. And I think okay. Sorry, I have to make it real. I'm like, oh, I have this answer, and then it just went away. The thing that I'm apologizing for right now, and I can feel it because it keeps coming up in some of my videos and stuff, is I'm apologizing for being inconsistent. I feel that there's a part of me that's like, how can I show up consistently, and how can I make sure no one else knows that I am that I am just so inconsistent here. The element of it here, the cost of apologizing for that is that I'm spending a lot of time trying to work in advance to put up a structure, but also a facade that like I am constantly the same person, or that I show up in the same way over and over again. And I think that what I'm coming to terms with here is that I'm actually very consistent when it comes to my values. I'm very consistent when it comes to how I choose to show up. I'm very consistent, and I live in integrity with myself in that regard. Um, and I'm realizing that there's a difference between Niyama being inconsistent and the business being inconsistent. Niyama being consistent and the business showing up consistently. And I think that there's a part of me right now that's really in the space of just allowing myself to no longer have to apologize for that and play a very different game. Okay, awesome. So what we'll do here now is I'm not going to ask for your reflection on this one just in the interest of time, but just know that like because you're here, I'm already getting something from you. Mm-hmm. So, but thank you, Monique. What we'll do now here is I'd love to just open this up I'd love to open it up for us just to get anything else that we are, that's on our mind here, right? I'm always torn. I'm like, I make these sessions an hour long and I'm like, it may not be enough. Monique, you and I were talking about this in the past here. But what I want to do is open this up for us to get a chance to work on anything right now that might be keeping you from showing up. Or let's see this. There's two ways we can look at this here. I'm looking at the people here. I'm feeling the love for you all, and I'm feeling I know where I want to go instead. All right. So for this conversation here, what I'd love to do is give us a chance to break up into some small groups and give us about 10 minutes to spend some time with each other and get to know each other and play a little bit more distinctly there. There's a question that I would love for each of you to just spend some time on right now. And the question that's going to lead us into this group is, what if, or sorry, I'll frame it this way. If the thing I was apologizing for was actually my superpower, how would life change? And the thing I was apologizing for was actually my superpower. How would life change? And for Paul Myers, you're coming in here, just think to yourself, if there's one thing in your life or business that's keeping you from really owning who you are and being like having the courage to be you and be unique, what might you be apologizing for? And then I would just go to the question. Right now you're muted, so I can't hear you, but we'll get into that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us a chance for us to go into small groups and just talk about 5 minutes each to go and reflect. One person can be in a conversation with me. So if anyone would like to be in a conversation with me, let me know. What will happen is this. When we break up into the small rooms, we'll go into small groups of 2. When you're in the small group, what you say will not be captured on the recording. So that's another place where you can just go ahead and get to know each other, so on and so forth. But it won't be captured on the recording. Even 5 minutes is still not enough. And I apologize for that. So I think I'm probably have to just make these 1.5 hour long sessions and just call it, you know. But while you're in that small group, go ahead and share what if the thing you're apologizing was your superpower, and just explore it there. One person can be in this room with me. Whoever's in this room with me, it will continue to record. So if you'd like to, I just want to let you know about that distinction there. Is there anyone who would like to stay in this room with me? And then otherwise, I'll just split up everyone else. And if there's no hands, okay. So Monique will stay in here. And then what I'll do really quickly is break everyone out into the groups. All right. Happen automatically. Give me 1 second. Okay, great. So what's going to happen is that you're all going to get an invitation that's coming to you right now. You can just go into it. I'll give you a 1 minute notice, basically on both ends. So 1 minute before the first 5 minutes and 1 minute for the next 5 minutes. And then we'll all come back into this space together. Okay. Monique, you're going to see the invitation. Just don't accept it. Okay. All right, cool. Any questions? Away we go. You should be seeing an invitation showing up on the bottom of your screen right now. Okay. All right.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm not bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. really interested to play here. Um, let me just slow down and just be with you, Monique, really quickly. So let's play here. The question at hand is, what if what you're apologizing was actually your superpower? I'd love to just play and explore with that there. Um, does anything come to mind? Would you like to go first? Would you like me to go first? I'm coming in as a participant with you in this case now.
Yeah. How about you go first?
Okay. So it's a little unfair because I realize that this has been starting to pop up and percolate for me. The thing that I've been apologizing for has been just this feeling of being inconsistent. And if it was my superpower, I think that I think the reason it's unfair is because I realized that when I said it, I'm like, but I think that's why people like spending time with me, like because I'm not consistent. I don't treat everyone the same way. Like like there's an element of me that's like, okay, I'm with Monique. Like I want to get to know you. I'm not making any assumptions about you. I don't care. Like I just need to know who you are, and who you are might change in any given minute or day or whatever it is. But like I'm just so interested in being with you as you are, exactly as you are, that like I don't even need to be consistent in the way that you and I in our relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that if it was my superpower, I would be embracing it more and allowing it to be more of like part of the moniker, part of what leads through. It's like, don't come to me if you want to, if you're looking to have the cookie, if you're looking for me to approach you in a cookie cutter way. And I think that if I'm going to be a little bit more real with this here, just allow myself to settle in, that part feels really good. That part's like, yep, got it. The part that I'm apologizing for when it comes to being inconsistent is it's likely more in the elements of delivery. So this comes more to Facebook Lives, and am I showing up consistently online? Just like, am I showing up on a regular schedule? Or is my content consistent? Does it look consistent? Is it at a high level of production, or is it at a high level of distribution? I think that's a big place where I'm apologizing for when it comes to the inconsistency part. And so now let me try and think about what like if that was my superpower. Like I'm still like in my mind like, I don't see how this could be a good thing. I should be consistent within the business and so on and so forth. But if it was my superpower, I think the way that it would work is that I would continue to be inconsistent, but I would choose to do it in a way that provides external consistency for others, while still owning the fact that I am inconsistent. So I would see it being like sessions like this here where, I'm smiling. I could actually feel it. Like, it's like, freedom. But like sessions like this where I can have the sessions come at whatever pace that I feel, whatever I'm feeling called to do, whatever feels right. Maybe there's a period of time in which people are able to participate in it. However, in terms of the distribution of people, because I think this is it. As I'm thinking, I love being inconsistent with the people who choose to spend time with me in real time. You know, I don't want to be consistent there. There's another thing that shows up, which is when I'm having other people, when I'm distributing the magic that was made in an inconsistent manner, where the consistency can come to play. So I think if I really owned that there, it would just be leaning into and saying like, if you want to get something special and experience the elements of actually having the magic come to you in the moment, then you need to join us whenever these things are being offered. It's like a wave. Like either you catch it or you don't, and it's okay. If you miss the wave, like a surfer will just wait for the next one. It might be a little bit of time beforehand. So I think, and then know that like even these sessions, we're doing 5 of them in 8 days. It just dawned on me. I'm like, I can release them once a week, and that's okay, you know. And if you missed the wave when it was happening, that's okay too. So yeah, that's how I can choose to play with that there.
Can I share an impact?
Yeah.
Okay. because as you're like speaking this out into the world, I'm realizing that inspiration and creativity can't be planned. It's spontaneous. So yeah, it's like that wave. You're like jumping on it when it comes. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm going to let that be with me. So why don't we switch here? I want to make sure you have enough time as well. What if the impact? Well, what you just share. Let's just go with.
Okay. Yeah. So what if stepping inward and recreating myself was my superpower? Man, I'd probably find a lot more peace. If I could just, wherever I was, just go inward and just be present with what was there. I think I would be way more mindful of, I guess, the way that I show up in certain interactions instead of getting swept away with it. It's come up to me recently that whenever I'm in a hard conversation, I can take that pause and actually like go inward for a moment. It doesn't demand that I speak whatever right away. That if I don't know what to say, that I don't need to say anything right there. And I feel like when we're in dialogue, there's this expectation that if you share something with me that I need to respond now. So I think that's really cool how, yeah, if we all took that time to just pause when we need to take a pause and unapologetically take those pauses and just really check in, really see where we're at. Man, would our interactions be a heck of a lot different than they are now. Yeah, I don't know if anything else is coming up here, so I'm just going to take a pause. Yeah, I got nothing.
I really respect you for taking that pause, by the way, because it's like in talking about going inward, you allowed that to happen right now. Did you like? Yeah. So just, do you mind if I ask a question? Do you mind if I stay curious?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I'd be curious, in what ways is you being able to go inward like you do, um, a huge service to those around you?
Yeah. I think it would give other people permission to dig deeper than I think that we do on a normal basis. I think our reactions are quick, but they're not always the right ones. If you give permission to find that space, I think in that moment, in that split moment between saying something and not saying something, that you could change the trajectory of many situations, that we would really be able to navigate what was going on underneath all of our layers and trauma and reactions and really feel for what's going on. Because I don't think when we're upset about something or something happens, we're not necessarily upset about what is happening, but maybe a series of events or a reminder of something. That if that pause came into play, I really wonder how we would meet each other, where we would show up differently.
Fantastic. I'm glad we got a chance to explore that there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just send a quick message to let everyone else know that we're coming back
Okay.
here to wrap up here. And then give me 1 second, Monique. Yeah, Monique. So I just sent it out there. They'll automatically all come back in here, so you'll see people start trickling in. But I do want to say there's a real gift being able to share this with you here. It's an element of my uniqueness here. It, just being able to play with this from a standpoint of being able to say, okay, what if it wasn't just enough to be? What if it wasn't just acceptable to be inconsistent, but it was like actually part of my calling card. My calling card gets longer and longer as I bring in more and more of these things where I'm like, oh, okay, now this is shown up here as I play on this level or as I move on from there. So I appreciate you just being with me and giving me a chance to explore. You might have seen it in like real time as some of these connections were were taking place. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey y'all, welcome back.
Hello.
Hi. So I'm seeing some smiles here. It looks like there's some good conversations that took place. Everyone just seems really open here, and and you know, without knowing what happened in that conversation, I think part of why we do this in this way is for you all to get to know each other. You know, like you all are trailblazers, and what is really wonderful is that as you're going off on your own paths, this thing is here together for us all. We're at our time here, so if anyone needs to leave, please feel free to just drop off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give us, I'll see you later, give us a chance to then just give out a quick one sentence check out. And then we'll end this session for today. So if you want to, Theron, if you're still around and you want to give a one sentence check out, we'll all go around. We'll go Theron, then Elizabeth, and continue from there.
This was fantastic. I am so glad that I was a part of this. I mean, if joy could be bubbles, I'm overflowing. Let's do it again.
Well, we're doing one in 2 days, so yes. We will see you there. Theron.
Yeah. So I just want to say I'm always grateful in a gathering of people who have, like, they have this devotion within their hearts to connect with other people on a different plane, a different level that like they don't normally do in their everyday life. So this gives us a chance to connect and give, it's like a feeling of supporting one another, even if you might not think about it that way, but I feel an energy of support, right? In order for us to grow and develop and continue to strive for greater things. So I just want to say that. And I have to go, people. So thank you very much. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you, Theron. Good seeing you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Theron. Who else? A one sentence check out here. Elizabeth.
Karen, I loved what you said about if joy could be bubbles. And what that brought up for me was like oxygen that we are breathing from each other and from this community of connecting with each other. And we're being revitalized and invigorated by it. And I'm just so appreciative of this community that you've brought together and what we are creating here and what it means to show up and to be our unique, outlier trailblazer selves and express that with each other and be accepted here. So thank you for creating this community for us.
Absolutely. And thank you for showing up exactly as you are. It's great having you. I find myself, I'm looking forward to seeing where we're going to go from this year. Palmer, why don't you give us a one sentence checkout?
I think I think Nemo, I think you're just an incredible person, and I'm also very grateful for you for bringing us all together. I think it's so cool that we're in different time zones and different countries, and everyone just seems to have like a really beautiful smile about them, and it just really makes me happy. It's just kind of this synergetic, like just kind of feeling of love and positivity, and I'm grateful for that. And it was nice to talk. And, Theron and I got to talk, and it was so great because I don't know him at all, but we were both so candid and so positive and I don't know, a certain kind of positivity that it was an amazing connection just in 5 minutes that you don't get that often. And you made that happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Palmer. And I thank you for walking in and just playing exactly like just jumping right in and bringing in your energy to this all. I'm looking forward to where we take it from here. Monique, why don't you share something, and then I'll share something to close us out today.
Yeah. So what came up for me was that this whole gathering was about the courage to show up as your unique self. And we all have very different lives, very different backgrounds, very different stories and experiences. But when we all come together in a space like this, we can really learn to navigate how maybe we feel the same or experience things similar to each other. So just to be present in a room with someone and just be like, oh, I feel that. I do feel that. And just recognizing that there's humanness in all of us, and we're just going to navigate it together. So thank you. I really appreciate you having all of us.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll end off here with my checkout here. It really hit me, Elizabeth, when you said the word community. And I realized, I'm like, oh, it's happening. Oh, it's happening is the feeling that I got here, in the sense that this is the vision for me. We're living it in here, and it's not about me at all. The thing is, like, I'm surrounded by amazing people who in their own right are the most unique people and most powerful people I know. And I've always had the question, what would it be like if they were able to be with one another and to be all of who they were in this space, to only take it even further from here. And so I am in a place right now where that the vision is being realized, and I'm happy to be in community with each of you, both as a leader and as a participant. And what I'm going to invite you to do, we have another session in 2 days. I think it's exactly the same time. I'll likely make that one just an hour and a half, because I feel like we were just getting into the place and we're just opening up. If you have to leave after an hour, feel free to leave. But this is me being inconsistent and leaning into this year. And part of my inconsistency skill is that I can serve to what is necessary. We need an extra half hour. So we will be doing this. Yeah, so I'll just make sure it can work on my calendar. But that's what I'm really feeling. So I wanted to say thank you here. We continue the conversation in 2 different places. You'll get a recording of this. It'll be up on, we have a hub where if you're a member, if you've come to one of these things, you get access to the hub, so you can see the recording that will be there. And then we also have a Facebook group where we're continuing the conversations. My thing there is like, that's a space for us to be able to discuss amongst ourselves and continue from that place there. I'm not there to try and get engagement. It's more like, how do we continue what we've built inside of this community right here? Okay. I'll see you all in 2 days if you're able to make it. If not, we have an entire series, all of these courageous conversations. I'm looking forward to growing with each and every one of you. Take care, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for bringing your awesome selves to this convo.